What's up, Princess comes to you from Universe, and I want you to imagine for a second you're going through life and you're not getting the type of opportunities that you really want. What I want to talk about is a simple concept that stops so many people in entrepreneurship. And what is that? Not giving yourself the opportunity to succeed. Now, on the surface, this sounds like a simple concept. If you give yourself the opportunity to succeed, you'll get to where you want to be. But I want to talk about how a lot of times we tend to self-sabotage ourselves and not give ourselves the best opportunity to succeed. And then I want to talk about how you can start giving yourself the best opportunity to succeed today. No bullshit. Let's get to it.
Now what happened, P?
Huh?
What happened?
The guy told us we can't take pictures. So nothing about video. So I don't know how to take it. Guess we're just gonna start filming. So though it may seem like a simple concept, the biggest reason that you're probably not successful is because you're not giving yourself the adequate opportunity to succeed. Now, let me explain this story. There was an event a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, that was pretty recent, a couple months ago, called Tap the Future. Now, I talked about this on my story, but it was one of the things that really illustrated the point of how no matter what, you have to give yourself the best opportunity to succeed. Now, during this competition, they have what you call a pitch contest, where random businesses can come up and pitch their idea in front of the sharks or the people they had on the panel. Now, all my friends, they told me, before the event, you should enter this event. You should be a part of it. And of course, me, being who I am, I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. Now, when I got up there, I actually didn't have a business card. I didn't have a business card on me. I didn't have one in my hand. I didn't have anyone anywhere to be found. But what I did have was a friend of mine's business card, a guy named Abe Rios. So what I did was I put that business card into the bucket. Now, me not half expecting them not to call me, not half expecting them not to even like it to ever come up, because I put my name and stuff like that before and it's never came up. But today was different. This time was different. I sat in the auditorium and I was looking over at Will, and I went over to the restroom, and then when I came back, over the loudspeaker, I hear the card that I put in. Now, I got up there and I started talking. Now, everybody in the crowd is getting enthralled with what I'm saying. They're loving what I'm talking about. And even David John, he stands up and takes notice. I've talked about this before. What was more interesting is when I got off stage and people were talking to me, they said, you know what? It's gonna happen for you. What you did right there, that was something quite different. And the thing that was amazing about this, that it built a lot of momentum when it came to my business, as far as people following me, as far as people watching me, and even building more credibility about the idea of me taking massive action. But let's think about something simple. If I never would have put that card inside that bucket, none of those events ever would have happened. I wouldn't be talking to you about those things right now. So the simple thing is, by putting that card in the bucket, I gave myself the opportunity to succeed. And that's what basically happens a lot of times in life. Because you're scared, because you have fear, because of what other people might think about you, you don't give yourself the best opportunity to succeed. There's people all the time that's gonna tell you, oh yeah, you can't do it, that shit won't work, what do you think you're doing, who are you to do this? But the clearest things you have to do, no matter what, even if it's difficult, even if it's slightly irritating or something that's a little uncomfortable, you always have to put yourself into the game in order for you to be able to succeed. If you're not playing the game, there's no way you can succeed no matter what. The next concept I want to talk about is something that really hit me lately, is an epiphany I had, and that was focusing too much on details. Now, I remember when I was very young, me and my brother had two very different strategies for how we went about school. Me, I was more get the grades, meticulously get to the objective, right? I thought having all the knowledge, having all the skills and all this type of stuff, that was the best policy in order to succeed. What I noticed all throughout my life is that my brother would get stuff done and he wouldn't do half the shit I was doing. I mean, literally, he would kind of just breeze through school and it was kind of effortless for him. And I remember wondering all my life, why is this happening? Why do I work so hard and it seems like everything I have to do is so stressful and it's like just a grind all the time? And when I asked him about this, it was later on in life, I asked him, when you think about doing a project or you think about doing something, what do you think about? He said, you know what? I don't really think about all the little details, how I'm gonna do it. All I do is make a decision that I'm gonna do it, and then I just figure it out while I'm going. Now, this was one of the most shocking realizations to me because all my life I thought that, it's important to focus on all the details. Now, I want to send a disclaimer. I'm not saying that details are unimportant, because a lot of people would take me saying that, saying, well, shit, I don't need to focus on details. I need to jump in there. I don't need to think about shit. But what more importantly you need to focus on is the idea of not focusing on details. You're gonna run into something, Will. What I mean is basically this. You're gonna be able to figure out the details. really, a lot of times when I started doing something like this, when I started shooting YouTube videos, I didn't know how I was gonna actually shoot YouTube videos. I didn't know how I was gonna make a show. I didn't know how I was gonna do the sound, the mixing, the audio, the video, the cinematography, or have the people to help me with it. I didn't know any of these things, but what I did know is that I wanted to do it. See, I made the decision, just like I talked about in another video about getting organized, about conditional decision making. I didn't make it based on a condition. I said, I'm gonna make the show no matter what. And what I did was, I figured out all the things in between. Now this goes back to the first point of putting yourself in the game. I don't really care how much you think you know, how many skills you think you have, or how much planning that you think you can do. No matter how much planning or how sophisticated your ideas are, you're always gonna run into bumps in the road. Your planning will never be what you think it is. They call it the planning fallacy, and that's us overestimating our ability to say, oh, what will happen and what won't happen. When I jumped in there, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know. However, what happened was I began to figure out the things, and now I have my show going, I have my YouTube channel going, and I also have my business growing. And that's the same thing when it comes to anything. If you never put yourself out there, you never give your mind time or the opportunity to figure out the situation. And that's what you have to do. Put yourself in the game no matter what. And always remember, don't focus too much on details. You can figure out details. You just have to trust that you can do it.
So Pete, give me a little bit more about focusing on details.
So, recently something happened with me and Will, whatever, and we were talking about, Will's about to do like this big ass New Year's Eve party, right? He was like, man, you know, I gotta do all this, I gotta do all this, and Will's an action taker, like, no bullshit. But then, I thought about it for a second, and we looked at each other and said, you know what, we're just gonna do it. We're gonna make the decision, we're gonna do it. Because all the little details, we know them, because we've taken time to kind of study them and work through them, but you just get so caught up on the little shit that you don't understand that a lot of that stuff is solvable. But if you're never taking action to get to where you want to be, well, there's nothing you can do about that. But if you are taking action, at least you have the opportunity to succeed. That's really what it is. Crazy enough, something I was just talking about, something that just happened. We were filming a shot walking this way, and a guy comes up there, he's like, man, what are you doing? What do you do? So, you know, I just started talking to him about what I do, and just talking to him honestly about what I do, because once again, just even in the conversation, giving myself the opportunity for somebody to see what I'm talking about. He said, oh man, that's crazy that you're in entrepreneurship. And he starts talking about some common interests. He started talking about that, you know, his fiance is actually doing an event, and that he's in entrepreneurship, and he's got this organization called People Helping People. Now, a lot of people, some guy walks up to him, gives him a card off the street and says, you know, it's a business event, it's something to network with people. People be like, oh, I'm not gonna go to that, I don't know this dude and all this type of stuff. However, the simple thing is that the opportunity could lead to something that you never know what it can lead to. And that's the big thing about taking opportunities. Earlier, a guy told us, hey, you guys, you can't take pictures here. Even though me and Will are not taking pictures, we're actually filming. We could have stopped then. We could have not seized that opportunity. But that was the big thing, that allowing ourselves to seize the opportunities is what's gonna lead to all sorts of different things.
So guys, basically, in the midst of us taking massive amounts of action, a guy walks up to us and gives us a potential business opportunity. Now, I do nightclubs, I do parties. I got a big ass, super huge, buck wild fucking New Year's Eve event coming up. So, in the club business, back in like 2008, 2007, we used to go out and pass out flyers outside. And a lot of times, people would just drop them on the floor, like in our face, like rude as fuck. However, we just met this guy, Guillermo, and he was telling us about entrepreneurship, the business and stuff that he's doing. And he gave us a flyer, actually to a breast cancer awareness event that his fiance is hosting. Now, we could have just dropped that on the floor and not let anybody know what we're doing, or we could have basically said, fuck him, fuck your event, we're not going. However, we took that opportunity and we're gonna go to that event tomorrow because there's no telling who you might meet taking massive action. People been telling us all day, we can't film here, we can't shoot, we can't do this, we can't do that. Fuck what people are telling you can't do. Take fucking massive action. Take advantage of every fucking opportunity. A lot of people are wondering, why am I not successful? Why don't I have the house I want? Why don't I have the car I want? Why don't I have the friends that I want? But because you're not fucking taking action. You're sitting on your ass. You're sitting at the house. You're like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, but you think everything is gonna be fucking given to you. You have to get out and go fucking take it. Massive action move.
And which just leads me to the next point of why not? Why not you? Why not you? I'm about to talk about that in a second. Now, before I wrap this up and give you a massive action challenge of the week, the last thing I want to talk about is what I call why not syndrome. Now, when you start off in business, everybody has the biggest thing that just is in the back of your mind is why not you, right? Let's take something like when I started this video. The first thing I said was, well, could I be somebody who gets in front of people and talks on YouTube, comes out to these strange locations with people trying to stop me from filming? Could I be that person? And the question really is, why not me? I mean, literally think about this. Why not? Why not you? Why can't you be the person who goes after what you want? Literally, what is stopping you? You have all this mental blockage, all this shit you're telling yourself that this is the reason I can't do it, and this is why I can't do it. But I call this why not syndrome. And the only way to get through why not syndrome is massive action. Will probably already came up on here, but it's about the things about you're sitting there and you're saying that all these things are stopping you. All these things are in your way. There's a way you can't get to where you want to be, but it's all you just saying, why not? Why not you? Why don't you deserve to get the things that you want to get? Look, I can go on a rant. I can talk about this all day, but the biggest thing that you need to remember is that no matter what happens, massive action and giving yourself opportunities will remove why not syndrome. It will completely remove it. And with that being said, I want to wrap this up by saying, or first I want to give you a massive action challenge, and I'm going to wrap this up. Now, this massive action challenge, I'm going to call this the stop bullshitting challenge. I want you to look back in your life right now. Right now, I want you to look at something that you gave up on and that you did not give yourself the opportunity to succeed. And furthermore, what I want you to do, I want you to send me a comment on it so we can talk about it specifically. We talk about it together, something you gave up on that you know you need to continue. Because the question is not if you could do it. The question is why not you? Why not? Why did you give up? What's the real reason you're not taking the action that you want? I want you to find an event like this in your life, and I want you to understand that going after it and giving yourself opportunity is the only way you'll ever accomplish anything. It's the only way. It's literally the only way. And to finish this week, I want to leave you off with this joke that I heard. It's supposedly originated in Russia. A guy, and no matter what you believe, I think you can still appreciate the gist of this joke. A guy's sitting on the couch and he's praying to God. And he prays to God and he says, "Know what, God? Make me rich. Make me rich, make me rich." So every day he repeats this routine. He just sits on the couch all day and he prays, "Make me rich, make me rich, make me rich." No answer, no answer. Day after day, he keeps praying, "Make me rich, make me rich." After a couple weeks, he sits down, his usual routine, to pray and say, "Make me rich, make me rich," without taking any action. And then surprisingly, to the man's surprise, a voice echoes out the darkness and says, "You could at least buy a lottery ticket." A lot of times in life, you want something, but you can at least take the steps and the actions in order to get to where you want to be. That's massive action. Join the massive action movement. Like and subscribe for more. Let's go.